Hello everyone, Michael, Clash City Rocker with another video, this time on the Monterey International Pop Festival. It's a record store day release that came out a few years ago. And for some reason, when this movie, and it was originally a movie that I saw by D.A. Penninbrecker, I'll say the name wrong here, and I saw it as one of the midnight movies that were so ubiquitous when I was a kid. And those were fun experiences. You know, Pink Floyd at Pompeii is probably the most famous, but you'd go at midnight and you watch these movies and people would do what they needed to do. But it was a great way to see bands that you had never seen before. But for some reason, the Monterey Pop Festival in 1967 just like transfixed me. And I think I initially was drawn to it because of the usual suspects, you know, Hendrix and the Who I really liked at the time. But there were so many other great bands on it. And then when I became much, much older, I've watched it again. And what I was kind of blown away by was just how cool the whole environment was. And this is a coffee table book I picked up a couple years ago called The Perfect Haze, Illustrated History of the Monterey International Pop Festival. It does a great job. Excellent archival pictures and analysis of each of the shows. But if you watch the movie, there's all these great crowd shots of people just kind of hanging out and chilling, and these weird Monterey kind of boxes that they had. I don't know if it was a racetrack. I probably should have reviewed that before I started watching this, but just, you know, sunny afternoon, California, I think June 1967, just chilling, hanging out, watching the bands. And I wasn't a big hippie guy, but I was like, wow, what a cool festival. And look how great everybody looks. And everybody seems to be having a good time. So again, a great book if you have an opportunity. I mean, here's the telegrams. Yes, they use telegrams to commit acts to the festival. You know, news releases with the lineup. Again, just this great. The prices. The most expensive ticket was $6.50 for a box. How much do you think that would go for now? Like $16.50? It would be incalculable. You couldn't really pay for it. So the thing about the 67 Monterey Pop Festival, and it was overshadowed by Woodstock. I've always liked the music and the bands and the lineup so much better for 67. And just the incredible bands. So here is this again. And on here is Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Otis Redding, The Who, Simon and Garfunkel, Mamas and Papas, Buffalo Springfield, but also includes the Grateful Dead on here and some of the kind of lesser known bands. But Record Store Day has been doing a really good job of releasing records from 1967. And again, there was a video that came out a little while ago where they were doing some vinyl tag, and they were like, record store releases you actually listen to, as if people are just buying them as investments, which is a whole nother video sometime, instead of listening to them. And a lot of the records I'm going to show you are Record Store Day releases. But anyways, Monterey, first record most people probably had was this one, Hendrix, Otis Redding, breakthrough performances by both these folks. Again, they were only playing 30-minute sets, so as amazing as these are and as explosive as they are, they really were tight and hit the high points pretty quickly. But this is one that probably many of us had, and there's the little Monterey Festival poster. Oh, a word on this. I'm going to show some individual records, but at one point I had a box set, a CD box set. I don't have CDs anymore. I just have vinyl, but I know that you can get a more conclusive set. And like the, as I'm fumbling around looking for my video here, this D.A. Penninbrecker video was re-released a few years ago, where they also included the entire Jimmy Plays Monterey. It says 49 minutes. And then Shake, Otis Redding, 19 minutes, and then outtakes with all the different ones. So this is worth getting. I don't have a DVD player anymore, but here's one of the exclusive Record Store Day ones. They've been doing individual performances from Monterey Pop, and here's the Otis Redding one. Again, you know, side one with the Booker T start, and then Philly Dog, and then Hip Hugger, and then the second side is all of the Otis Redding, Shake, Respect, I've Been Loving You Too Long, Satisfaction. But I just love the way they present this with the pink and the yellow. So there's Otis. Another one of the big ones from there was Big Brother. And the Holding Company, again, Janice's breakthrough performance. And again, just really cool how they've set this up. And so Down on Me, combination of the two, Harry Roadblock, Ball and Chain. I guess she wasn't initially filmed, or she didn't like her performance, so they put her back on Sunday. And that's where she did Ball and Chain. That's the famous one where Mama Cass's mouth drops open and she's like, what the heck, you know. But here's another one of the ones, The Who. Again, of course, they trashed their gear. There's a funny scene in the movie where there's some stagehand, shades of me, rushing out there trying to save a microphone. I'm surprised he didn't get crushed in the head by Townsend. He's been known to do that, most famously Abby Hoffman at Woodstock. But here's this, Substitute, Summertime Blues, Pictures of Lily, quick one, Happy Jack, and then, of course, ending with My Generation. Another one they did, and one of my favorite bands, Jefferson Airplane. Shortly after, Grace Slick joined the band. This is such a great set. Somebody to Love, Other Side of This Life, White Rabbit, High Flying Bird, Today, She Has Funny Cars, Young Girl, Sunday Blues, The Ballad of You and Me, and Punile. 12 minutes of that one. But again, Today, I mean, the way that Marty Ballin and Grace Slick's voice work together, and she's got this headband in her hair. It's just such a unbelievable performance. And then the Mamas and the Papas, again, John Phillips was the organizer of this. So Michelle Phillips, Cass Elliott, Denny Doherty, John Phillips. The one thing I don't like about this one is there's so much talking that is on this set instead of just playing the music, which is one of the reasons why this very famous and historically flawed set, Buffalo Springfield and the Byrds. And this is the last one that they did, Record Store Day. This was last Black Friday. And again, I've been kind of not getting in line anymore and dealing with Record Store Day, but there's still titles that I want. And I had somebody who was kind enough to procure this for me. But I think most of you know the story that there's David Crosby with the Buffalo Springfield, and you're like, wait, he wasn't in the Buffalo Springfield. Well, he was this day because our good friend Neil Young had decided he no longer wanted to participate in the Buffalo Springfield. And then the famous Bird set where David Crosby epic rants about John F. Kennedy's assassination, just, I guess, which was one of the reasons why he gets kicked out of the Byrds. So, yeah, and there's just such amazing performances. And the thing about Monterey Pop and why I find it interesting that I'm so drawn to it is my musical tastes are more Anglophile. In fact, this entire row that's up here that you can't really see, what is it, 500 records, maybe a little more, is all England 60s-ish, and then, or the 70s, and then the row below it, which is here, an equal amount, is all England 80s. But this Monterey Pop Fest, which is very American-centric, is such great performances. And then some of the other people that performed, I just grabbed some of them. Ravi Shankar, again, the first opportunity, many people saw it. Jaw-dropping performance. This is actually one from that era I picked up. And good old Canned Heat, Killer, Rolling and Tumbling, which is just an amazing performance. Great. And I love these labels, you know, on the Liberty label. And some of you may notice I don't put all of my records in polyline sleeves. I just have, this is too much. Paul Butterfield Blues Band. But when they appeared, Mike Bloomfield was no longer with them. There's good old Mike Bloomfield, because he was with, give me a moment, these guys, Electric Flag. There he is. Very interesting record. Another one I'm just so happy that I picked up over the years. Other people that performed, of course, Booker T with Otis. This is a compilation from '68, right around that time. And then, speaking of Record Store Day, I picked up this one a few years ago. This was great. So, first three Dead records with their more poppy or radio-friendly or listener-friendly songs. Golden Road to Unlimited, Devotion, Cream Puff War, Morning Dew, Born Cross-Eyed, a single version of Dark Star, Saint Steve, and China Cat Sunflower, etc. Well, this was fun. This is great. I love this. So Grateful Dead, they actually appear in that expanded documentary. Simon and Garfunkel. This is the next one that I hope that Record Store Day does. I don't know if they're ever going to do anymore, but if they did, I wish they would do this one. And they do from their 59th Street bridge song, Feeling Groovy, because I'm always feeling groovy. And for Emily, may I find her? Learn Niro. Just one more opportunity for me to show this beautiful cover. And on this one, she does Stoned Soul Picnic. Again, it was the time. It was the era. And Eli's Coming. Moby Grape. One with the Finger. Such a great record. Love me, Moby Grape. Who else played there? One of the few English ones. Eric Burdon, Sky Pilot. What a great song. Lovin' Spoonful. Of course, Summer in the City. Ubiquitous Lovin' Spoonful. Just a couple more. The Association. Great harmonies. Windy. I met someone named Windy once. Another story, another time. But such a great one. Along Came Mary. Comes Mary. Did they fit that bill? Well, maybe, maybe not. And then Quicksilver. This is a nice little compilation. And then two more bands. Steve Miller Band. I believe Boss Skaggs is on this one. And then the Blues Project. Al Cooper again. The ubiquitous Al Cooper. Another original. So great bands, great music, incredible crowd. I just such a interesting festival, well worth reviewing. I know you can watch it on YouTube. There's great records. It's an excellent way to kind of like curate a collection of sorts of bands from that era. Very American centric, but all the greats are there. Love the Monterey Pop Festival, and I really hope Record Store Day releases some of the other performances. So again, I'm Michael, Clash City Rocker. My goal with these videos, if you made it this far, is to engender a conversation. Like my videos, let me know what you think. Comments, I like to respond to comments. People have been making great suggestions. Subscribe. Makes me believe that I'm connecting, because that's the goal of these videos. So yeah, Monterey Pop Festival, such a great collection. I don't think any of the Record Store Day releases from then are particularly expensive. Like, this is a 2-record set, and I don't think it's that expensive. I think the only one that's really above $50 maybe is this one. So they're worth checking out if you can find them. So thanks again, Michael, Clash City Rocker. Peace.